Updates from Manchester United. Breaking news, it is official. Erik Ten Hag has signed a new contract up to June 2026. Interesting, June 2026. That is just a 2-year extension. That's it. It wasn't the 3-year that we were thinking of. So we're going to go through all of the stories, all of everything that everyone has said. We've got quotes from Ten Hag. We've got quotes from Dan Ashworth, the new director of football at Manchester United. Everything that's been said around Ten Hag from the new structure at Manchester United right now. But yes, the news is Erik Ten Hag, it has been made official, is going to be the Manchester United manager. He signed a new contract till June 2026. Let's get your thoughts on this, everybody. This is Forever United TV. Breaking news again, earlier than scheduled, but when news comes like this, an official announcement comes, we're always on it. We're live, right at it, getting your opinions and getting your thoughts on everything that is going down. And it is quite significant news as well. When you look at it, and you look at what we thought was coming with Ten Hag and the whole structure of this new contract, I thought it was going to be a 2-year extension on top of the 1 year that's left. But it now looks like that 1 year has been scrapped and a new 2-year contract from this point forward is going to be taking him into June 2026. Interesting. I want to get your thoughts on that, the timing of it, how long his contract is, and what this means for Erik Ten Hag. Is it a case of Ineos pretty much just going back on what was originally being discussed, allowing Ten Hag probably a bit more power, but obviously only giving him 10 years? Is it a trial 2-year contract is what I'm saying? Is this what this contract and only being a new 2-year one all about? So let's get into the quotes on what has actually been said. I'm going to probably go over this a few times as we've got a few people joining in throughout the show. It isn't our normal time, so catch up and we'll just keep going over everything that's coming out right now because there's tons of quotes. Erik Ten Hag on signing his new Manchester United contract says, "I am very pleased to have reached an agreement with the club to continue working together. Looking back at the past 2 years, we can reflect with pride on 2 trophies and many examples of progression from where we were when I joined. However, we must also be clear that there is still lots of hard work ahead to reach the levels expected of Manchester United, which means challenging for the English and European titles. In my discussions with the club, we have found complete unity in our vision for reaching those goals, and we are also all strongly committed to making that journey together." So Ten Hag fully on board with what Ineos have proposed. He's fully on board with everything within that contract. Complete unity. Keyword in there, unity. The quote coming from Dan Ashworth, the new director of football. And interesting on the Dan Ashworth one as well. Like this being one of the first quotes that has come out about Ten Hag and talking about the manager. Straight into work, straight into the job, and has come out. And it quite clearly shows that there was communication with Dan Ashworth around these whole discussions around Ten Hag. Because Dan Ashworth says, with 2 trophies in the past 2 seasons, Erik has reinforced his record as one of the most consistently successful coaches in European football. While the club's review of last season highlighted areas for improvement, it also reached a clear conclusion that Erik was the best partner for us to work with in driving up standards and outcomes. This group of players and staff have already shown they are capable of competing and winning at the top level. Now we need to do it more consistently. With our strengthening football leadership team now in place, we are looking forward to working hand in hand with Erik to achieve our shared ambitions for the football club. There you go, and pretty much director of football and from the horse's mouth himself, Erik Ten Hag. This is what's happening right now. We are looking at 2 more years of Erik Ten Hag. That is pretty much where we're at with this. It's a confirmation that we knew was coming. It's a confirmation of Ten Hag being the Manchester United manager that everyone was expecting after the club announced after the review that they were keeping Ten Hag. I think we just wanted to know some more details and what people thought. Like interesting words there from Dan Ashworth in saying that Erik Ten Hag has shown he's one of the most consistent managers over European football over the last 2 years. Well, 2 trophies is the only thing that backed that up, really, because Manchester United haven't performed in the league, and probably that's what Dan Ashworth was alluding to when he says there were clear signs from the review where Manchester United have gone wrong and they need to improve on. yes, finishing 8th in the league is definitely not where Manchester United should be. And I feel like in that position where we're in right now, that the 2-year contract extension that has been given, actually not extension, I keep going back to that. I need to take that off the table. The 2-year contract that is now in place for Erik Ten Hag moving forward, I think is key in all of this because, like I said at the top of the show there, like 2 years, like we expected 2 years on top of the 3 years that he's already got. 2 years for Erik Ten Hag means that I feel he's on trial with this new structure. For me, I think Ineos are protecting themselves. I think we'll see Ten Hag going through the season and then going again into his last year after this season. So really not much has changed, really. We've gone from Ten Hag having 1 more year left to having 2 years left. So we're going to be in the same scenario come this time next summer with Ineos deciding whether to keep Ten Hag or not after what we've seen this season. So really there is an awful lot riding on what happens on the pitch this season. There is. It's a what's the name, isn't it? It's a weird situation to be in that it wasn't an actual contract extension and it's actually a brand new contract. I'm just reading through everything else that's going on right now in the news, just waiting for some other quotes. A lot more people have been saying a few things as well, so I'm getting into all of them for you guys as well. Just let me quickly check where we're at with everything. If there's been any other announcements anywhere. There's loads going on right now. Erik Ten Hag confirmed. There's loads of other news with United as well, which we were preparing for the show today as well, which we'll hopefully get into. But yeah, going through everyone. Chris Wheeler's come out and said his piece on Ten Hag. I think he was the first one that I seen actually break the news. Erik Ten Hag, and a few of the quotes have come out now from what Ten Hag has said. Obviously being very pleased, looking forward, understanding that Manchester United last season were not good enough in the league. Obviously, yes, and you've got to look at it and go, he knows what's in front of him. He knows there's a new structure, and he knows that we've got a lot of work in front of us. 2 years is, for me, like I said, just a statement from Ineos, I feel. I think that's what it is. I think we're looking at Ineos actually looking into what Ten Hag has done in the good and the bad, that review and what was said. And I think the review has pretty much made their minds up regarding this 2-year deal. And when you look at it and you break it all down, like Ten Hag understands, and in his words there, the unity side of things and what he said, I feel is key in all of this. Unity, yes, they understand where they need to go, and that's Ten Hag for me saying, look, I need to do better in the league. We need to be competing, and they've said it there. Ten Hag's words. He's not said it in exactly the same terms. He said we need to be competing for both titles, the league title and the European title. That's the Champions League and the Premier League. So really, he needs to be closing the gap on the Champions League. He needs to be closing the gap on the league leaders. That ultimately will take him to the Champions League because it will mean we're being back in the top 4. So, yeah, get your thoughts in on this, guys. It's just an extra show as well. We have got another one coming up as well at our usual time, but we had to do the breaking news as we always do on FUTV. Super chat in from Mark. If Erik Ten Hag was a new manager, would you expect much to change with so much going on at the club and the tight finances in just 2 years? Yeah, mate, I think they would. It's just be a lot of change. I expect to see a lot of change. I expect to see a different style of football. I expect to see Ten Hag actually getting more out of these players. He said he can get more out of these players, so let's see what he can get out of them. When Ten Hag gets sacked in November, he'll spend December and January on the beach with his millions. A joke of a decision. You knew it was coming, no, Kevin. Keep your comments coming in. I'm just reading through them now. Ten Hag done well last 2 seasons with problems the club been having. Now the club getting their act together for real. Now be interesting how it goes. It will. It's all going to come down. This season has got a lot riding on it. No point spending money on a great manager or players until Pep is gone. It's just money down the drain. We can't think like that though, can we, Super Frank? It'd be good to take Pep down. basically being given one more season to see how it goes. If good, then we'll need another contract this time next year, or he's either been sacked. Well, going by the first signing, he'll be sacked by Xmas anyway. There's a lot of negativity going on right now. Morning, Adam Stott, and again voted being in the I don't know what's talking about there. Sorry. Complete off subject. Keep them coming in on Ten Hag, please. How will we see a different style of football while we're buying slow centre-backs who can't play a high line? Well, he needs to make it happen or he's going to be gone, mate. That's what we're saying. That's what we say. We've got a player there in De Ligt who's going to be coming into Manchester United, and he's basically got a player there that knows him inside out that we are now going to be expecting Ten Hag to get more from. That's what we're going to be dealing with. Morning to you as well, Jim. De Ligt isn't exactly slow, always played in a high line. That's up to Ten Hag to then make the system right, isn't it? Yes. But just going into everything else that's been said, there's a lot. Fabrizio Romano, obviously, onto this as well. The interesting one, the Dan Ashworth one, was, like the opening line from Dan Ashworth, really. With 2 trophies in the past 2 seasons, Erik Ten Hag has reinforced his record as one of the most consistent, successful coaches in European football. Well, yeah. Quick one from Chris Wheeler, who says, timing makes sense with the first Man United players due back for pre-season on Monday. No point in letting any uncertainty drag on. That's true from Chris Wheeler. Definitely a good point to actually bring up there with everyone coming back. Another one in from Rob Dawson. Manchester United have triggered the existing +1 option in Ten Hag's contract rather than renegotiating altogether fresh terms. Keeps his title and his transfer veto, which was part of the agreement when he moved from Ajax. Right, okay, so significant news there in what Rob Dawson has just brought out. That's what this deal is. There is no new deal. Basically, they've triggered the 1-year extension, which would come into effect with 1 year left. So effectively, Ten Hag has still got the same control over his transfers. It's exactly the same contract as what he's on. All Ineos have done is just extended the original. So Ten Hag, there's probably a unwritten rule that's in that contract with Ten Hag. As to how transfers work and how the system works behind the scenes. But officially on paper, nothing has changed. It's just a 1-year triggered extension. So, it's nothing new. It's just what was there before. Ten Hag has his veto. Ten Hag has his power, his title, everything else. It's a manager still. It's not a coach. So, officially, he is a manager. He's not a coach like we've been talked about. So, what is the angle here from Ineos? Are they just going to see what Ten Hag is made of now with this 1 more year? This is interesting. This is very, very interesting, this news that Rob Dawson has brought out regarding the structure of this, because there is no structure that's changed. It's the same as it was. I don't understand why Innes are going down this road. Again, it shouts out to me like full-on trial period for Ten Hag now. It does. And 1 year with that, it's interesting how they're going to balance that out now with the powers that be. It's not 2 years. Just so, if you are just joining us right now, I'm just reading through everything that's going on. There is no new contract for Erik Ten Hag. It's an extension to the current one. So, in Erik Ten Hag's contract, originally when he first signed 2 years ago, it was 3 years with an option for a 4th year. We're 2 years into that. Manchester United have triggered the 1 year extension early. And Erik Ten Hag is on the original contract that he started with Manchester United. No different terms. Same money, same amount of salary, same veto, same power. Still a manager, not a head coach. That's come out from ESPN just now over the last few minutes. It's not new. Nothing has changed. It's exactly what it was, except he's got a year added on to his contract. That's the interesting thing in that one. But yes, guys, that was just a quick live show. I'm going to be going over more at the usual time. We're going to be live just after 12 o'clock. So make sure you tuned in for that one. We'll be going over more details. I'll gather more information on this. I just wanted to do a quick live video just to go over the news that Ten Hag has signed on to that 1-year extension. So guys, we will be back. I'm going to wrap things up there and then be back just after 12 o'clock with a completely new show, the usual regular show. But I just need to do the breaking news and get this out of the way because there's a lot more stuff we need to talk about as well later on. So guys, really appreciate you jumping in on this quick fire one. I'm going to then move across, get everything ready for the normal scheduled one, which is going to be round about, I think, round about 10 past 12. So make sure you're tuned in, ready to go for that one. Keep your notifications on, and I'll see you all there. Absolute legends. Cheers for tuning in, guys. I'll be back a little bit later with all of the information from this and the other news going around Manchester United right now. Cheers, everybody. I'll see you.